Welcome to the Black Real Estate Voices podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Today, our guest is Miss Rashauna Scott. How are you, Rashauna?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you hopping on with me to allow us to see the inside of a genius like yourself in the real estate space.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, so Rashauna, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am an Illinois licensed real estate broker at Keller Williams. I run a team of real estate agents here in the Chicagoland area. We service the entire Chicagoland area, so full residential and commercial sales. I am also a real estate investor. My experience ranges from fixing and flipping to buy and hold, wholesaling, tax lien investing, and raising private capital. I am also the founder of Flipping the Hills, which is an online community for women real estate investors. So I would say that's a little bit about myself. I guess you can say just, the overall highlight of, just a couple of the titles that I carry.
So real quick, what encompasses Chicagoland?
So you have the city and the surrounding suburbs is generally what people refer to as the Chicagoland, right? Because you have Chicago, which is you have the downtown, the city center, and then you have North Chicago, West Chicago, South Chicago, which expands out for I don't even know how many miles. I'm like, oh, I should probably look that up. But Chicago is big, right? It's the third largest city in the country. And then the surrounding suburbs, right? Outside of just the city limits. So yeah, and the suburbs can be again, north suburbs, west suburbs, or south suburbs. But Chicago expands in all three of those directions. We don't have a East Chicago technically, because the lake is east of the city, Lake Michigan. But yeah, there's neighborhoods and communities north, west, and south. And then we service those surrounding suburbs as well, right outside of the city.
Gotcha. So I guess to in ours we call it Metro Atlanta. So it just stretches out an hour north, south, east, west. You know what I mean? It's probably expanding now. I got you.
I mean, and it just depends in in terms of the traffic, right? If we're talking about, how long it'll take you to get, from one end of the city to the next.
Got you. So how did you get into real estate?
So I got into real estate. Goodness, I've been telling this story for years, and I'm like, the older I get, I'm like, which one came first? So I had there was a gentleman at the time who gifted me the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So, like a lot of other folks, that was the first real estate book that I read, which is really a mindset book though, right? It's a mindset shift with the premise of real estate and the premise around like investing and the importance of investing. So, great book to start, but, also it is a good introduction. But I also had a mentor at the time too, to where, when I thought about like, hey, I think I want to learn real estate, I was able to reach out to someone who I knew had some experience in the industry as a loan officer. And they were able to explain and break it down for me. And then from there, I went ahead and I started my first business. I didn't do really anything with that business. I was 19. I didn't know what to do, but I just knew, I was told that, okay, start a business, build a business credit. So I did all of that. And then I was still found myself still searching and looking for answers. And really just was trying to figure it out. So I went to tons of workshops, seminars. I mean, I was still living at home, with my mom at 19, 20, 21. So I'm borrowing her car to go to events and, just trying to network and figure it out. Then early on, I got my leasing license in real estate. So I was like, a friend of mine a woman who went to my church. She was a successful realtor at the time. And she was like, hey, you know, why don't you get your license? Like I expressed to her that I had an interest in real estate, but I didn't know which way to go. Like I knew I wanted to do investing, but I had no idea where to start being young with, you know, no money and that whole thing. And she was like, well, get your license, you know, you can get a leasing license at 18. So it was very easy for me to go in and do that. And so that was, I guess you can say, my first actual activities or like transactions, you know, when I started transacting real estate and understanding contracts and things like that. And then from there, I invested into a guru program. So, you know, a lot of these educational programs that cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars before it was so popular to, you know somebody online who had a course, right? This was before then. This was the, you know, the years of the like I said, the big name programs, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And so I invested into one of those programs, and I was a member there for about 2 years, and I was showing up and taking the classes, and I learned a lot in about real estate investing, and it helped me become more well-versed and well-rounded, and, you know, in regards to having a conversation about investing in real estate. And then from there, I did a little bit of investments, you know, did some partnerships, did some deals. And then I went back in 2017 and got my broker's license to sell. The reason why I got my broker's license to sell was to be a better investor, right? To further my investing career. And then I said, hey, you know, I help out friends and family, you know, on the side. And then from there, you know, here we are. Like I had no intentions to be like a top producing agent. But it just happened, you know, as I had this love for investing, and I was, you know, putting out content and educating people on investing. I was attracting, little did I know, I was attracting a lot of investors and people, you know, who were looking for help or looking for assistance or looking for an educated realtor, you know, to assist them. And so, yeah, you know, a couple of years later, here we are.
Got you. So do you primarily focus on working with real estate investors?
I'm open. Again, like I said, my team, we serve, you know, we do full service residential and commercial. So yeah, I'm open. It's been a good niche, you know, for me, because I have niche down into it. But I'm not like I will only work with investors. No, absolutely not. You know, a transaction is a transaction, to be honest, whether it's residential or commercial, right? So whether it's a first time home buyer looking for a home or a condo, a townhome, you know, or an investor that's looking for a 6-unit, right? Is there's a different skill set, but the transaction, you know, is the same, right? You know, you find a property, you have an inspection, you know, do the due diligence, you know, so so I guess, yes, some would say like that is a specialty of working with investors, but I do not only attract investors. I work with yeah, pretty much everybody. We don't do a lot of like commercial warehouses and like industrial and things like that, but I do commercial multifamily, which is still, you know, a form of residential real estate.
How many people on your team?
I have 2 agents on my team and a full-time assistant.
Okay. Is that assistant virtual or in-house?
Virtual.
Virtual.
Mm-hmm.
The big way to go right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So let's.
You get more, you know, if you can have virtual assistants that are stateside, because my assistant before the one that I have now was virtual as well, but she actually lived in Chicago. But you know, she costs more, right? Versus having a virtual assistant that's not stateside, you know, your dollar is definitely just able to, you know, stretch further.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the importance of agents being investors as well?
So when I'm speaking, I actually usually end with that. So when I've been asked that question before, like, hey, you know, being on a panel, like what's, you know, one thing that you want to leave the audience with? And I talk about that often, right? I think it is important, like you said, to be a consumer, of the product that you're pushing or that you're selling. It's important. It is, right? Everybody's journey and story, and process is different, but you can definitely help guide your clients, I think, better when you've actually gone through the process yourself. Not to say that every realtor who gets into real estate should have already owned real estate, but I think it should be a goal. Absolutely. Something that you work at and work towards and work on, because the thing is that, you're selling the importance of ownership. Right. So if you don't believe in that yourself, I mean, and that's in any industry, right? Practice what you preach, right? So it's not just in real estate, but yes, it's important, to have people who understand, who've gone through the process, who, can walk you through the process. And you'll be surprised, there's actually a lot of realtors who don't own real estate, but again, like, that's not to shame them, but I want them to make sure that they understand the importance of it, and as long as you're working towards it.
Got you. What do you prefer better? The investment side, like you personally investing, or do you like selling homes to investors or first-time home buyers? Like, which one is the preference?
That's a good question. It is definitely rewarding, when you help clients get to the finish line. It's definitely a rewarding, feeling. I enjoy the investing side though too, flipping, design, renovating, going through and having a vision to see, what something could be and like the potential there. I do have that skill set there. For me, the ultimate goal, or I should say the end goal, is as much passive income as possible, right? And so being a realtor is not the end goal for me. So, freedom is, right? Time freedom and, things like that. Like, there are some people who want to be a realtor forever. And that's okay, but that's not my end goal. So to answer your question, there's rewarding pieces in each, right? When you going through and you renovate a project, and like you said, you go through ups and downs in that project, but you make it to the end, right? And so there's a rewarding feeling, getting to the end, and that whole thing. But like I said, also too, in helping and creating, homeowners and creating investors and creating, generational wealth for people, like there's, definitely a rewarding feeling in that as well.
Got you. So with that being said, when you got into real estate as an investor, was there any pushback from your brokerage on doing the investment piece through them?
So I was doing investing first
Right.
before I got licensed. But no, no, not at all.
Got you. Well, I often talk to agents, and a lot of them get into the business because they want to be investors. So they think getting your realtor license is the way to learn how to invest, when it's two different industries, right? Same industry, two different niches, right?
Yeah.
But then the next hurdle that they run into is that their brokers try to discourage them from working with investors and investing.
Oh.
So
Yeah, no, I haven't experienced that. That's interesting. I mean, there are pros and cons to working with investors. There's pros and cons to anybody that you work with in this industry, even first-time home buyers, right? Like, it's take more patience, more hand holding, more, consulting. It might take some therapy sessions. Okay. Like, yeah, sometimes, you got to really, consult and assist your clients through the process, and really be there for them. When you work with investors are less emotional, right? They know what they want. They, it comes down to the numbers, right? Like, so there's pros and cons, I think one of the other things is that some investors are not loyal, right? So there's that perception that, you know, investors are going to run you all over town and whatever the case, right? But it's a matter of, you know, how you work your business and how you run your business. But yeah, I would say I was able to get a hold on it right away. My very, very first buyer was looking for a 2-flat. And you know, from there, yeah, and then after that, my first client was looking for a single family. Both of them were looking to live in the property. Obviously, you know, the single family, but then also the 2-unit. Like, she's a first time home buyer, but she was also a first time investor, right? So understanding how to assist her, you know, and navigate her through that process. And then, you know, we have those clients or even those first time investors or seasoned investors that now, you know, they're looking to get into investing, but they're looking to rehab, right? So that's another set of skills and, you know, different like conversation that you have to understand and learn how to navigate. But no, I didn't have anybody necessarily saying that like I shouldn't do it. Like I said, you know, you just understand how to navigate, you know, the different types of clients and, you know, the different type of deals that you're going to come across. You know, but once you have a handle on it, you know, you pretty much decide, you know, what's worth your time or not, what you want to deal with or not, you know, which is one of the beauty, you know, one of the beautiful things about being an entrepreneur, right? I don't have to work with everybody if I feel like this client is going to be difficult or they're not a good fit or whatever the case, right? So having that freedom as well to decide, you know, who I want to work with or not is definitely important to me.
Got you. If I'm an investor, what are your thoughts on me going to pursue my real estate license?
So my first question is going to be, you know, why, right? And then, you know, once you tell me why, I'm going to let you know that real estate is a career. You know, it's a job, it's work, right? It's not, um, you know, I'm gonna get my license and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm gonna have all these clients and all these deals. Like, no, it's work, right? It's just as if anything else that you're willing to work at. And so I'm going to ask, you know, what's your goal for this license? There's some people that get licensed and they're at like a holding company, right? Where they might just put their license where they're paying like a small fee. They're not really doing a lot of transactions, but they're truly only have a license to put their own deals on the market and to have access to the MLS. If that's the case, you know, then that's okay. But to say like, oh, I want to be a realtor so I can become a better investor, then I will definitely gonna let them know, like, you don't need, you know, a license to learn about investing or to do more investments, right? I mean, you can learn so much on YouTube today about, you know, investing in real estate. So I let them know that, you know, if you want to actually be a realtor, then this is what it consists of and this is what it looks like. And if that's your plan, you know, if that's what you're signing up for, then, you know, by all means, you know, do you want to show houses? Do you want to, you know, deal with clients and negotiate contracts and, you know, do showings and, you know, do you want to really hustle and become a realtor? And some do, some do. But if it's just the whole, like you said, the misconception of, oh, I want to get my license, you know, so I can invest, then, you know, I let them know straight up, you don't need a license to invest.
What about the oh, I can save commission? That's another thing that I hear. Well, I can save X
Yeah, if they
amount of
want to
dollars
do
on
that,
commission.
yeah, if they want to do that, then that's fine. But then I also let them know there are other fees, you know, associated with getting your license too. You know, you have, you know, association dues, you know, that are due annually, MLS fees and things like that. So, you know, for some people it makes sense. But like I said, you know, they just want to, you know, save on the commission and they don't necessarily care about like the brand, you know, the percentage, the split, whatever the case. Like I said, there are holding companies or even 100% companies where you're 100% on your own. There's no training, there's no marketing, there's no, you know, nothing. You're a complete, you know, you're independent contractor and you're not paying a lot of money to the company. You know, but you're only using your license to transact your own deals. Then I think that's okay. You know, as long as you understand that, you know, what comes along with it. And really it's just going to be, you know, what's affecting your bottom line. But I can, I can understand it because I mean, sometimes commission can be what? I mean, 8, 9, 10, 15, $20,000. Like, yeah, that saves, you know, your bottom line. I mean, for any deal that I've, flipped since whether I had a partner or not, since being a realtor, like I absolutely, listed them myself. Right. And so I did not. And so I was able to factor that into, the profit versus, paying out another agent. So yeah, I'm all for that.
Got you. Do you find deals on MLS?
Yeah, there's deals on the MLS. I think it just depends on what you're looking for, where you're looking, right? One of the ways to find deals. Well, first of all, being a first mover, right, on something that hits the market and is right away a deal, right? So being very proactive and getting going from that sense. But then also on the flip side, um there's ways to take a look at and see, like, maybe, what's been on the market for a long time. Has it been under contract several times, or was it just not priced right? Like, looking at properties that have been on the market for a while, and looking and obviously looking at comps, looking at the market, looking at the area, and seeing, like, is there a deal here? And then going at it that way as well. Yeah. But I believe there's definitely deals still on the MLS. And especially in today's market, right? Like, there's price drops we're seeing, in the market like crazy, left and right, because, due to interest rates going up and things like that. So yes, there are deals. There are, prices that are dropping, and, until things stabilize, who knows? We don't know how long they will continue to drop. And it just might be that, you come across a seller who is just motivated, so motivated that, they're ready to get rid of the property. But yeah, there's deals that are on the market, off the market. I do a lot of off market, but there's deals everywhere. And I think you have to operate in that mindset too. To be honest, the abundance, like having that abundance of, I think just operating in that mindset. Like, I believe that there's always going to be deals. Like, I do not operate from a scarce mindset. Like, even as an investor, like for myself, right? I mean, when you see a deal, it's like, oh man, I really, I want this deal, right? And you want to try and make it happen. And either you can or you can't. But if you can't, like, it's okay, because there will always be another deal. And I think as long as, agents keep that at the forefront, you're able to keep your clients motivated and help them from not getting discouraged, because the market can be tough, we've even just seen, even in the last 3 years, right? Going through a global pandemic, going through, the supply and demand going like crazy, right? Going through, having us be in multiple offer situations time and time again. And so I think keeping that abundance mindset helps in, remembering that there's deals, everywhere all the time. Right. It's just a matter of being patient, being ready. And, so when that deal comes, being ready to take advantage of it,
Do you only invest in Chicagoland or Illinois?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Comfortability. Yeah. I'm not saying that I will always only, invest, but just currently, that's just where I'm at.
Got you. In terms of your group, it's Flipping Heels, right?
Flipping in Heels is
Flipping in Heels. Okay.
yeah, it's an online community. So it's currently it's an Instagram page where we highlight, educate, inspire, and promote women real estate investors. And then I have a group under Flipping in Heels called Infinity, which is a women's real estate mentoring program or membership group. So we meet online twice a month, and the women are from all over nationwide, and we talk all things business and real estate investing. And we've been going strong for about 3 years.
Do you sleep? You sound like you super busy, super busy. If I am a realtor and I'm looking to invest, what should be one of the first steps I take to start that journey?
If you are a realtor and looking to invest, I think the first step is getting your personal finances together, right? One, two, getting approved, and making sure that you can get approved to purchase. And then three is locating and identifying a property. And then if you're a realtor, then you have or should have or might have, a network of realtors and lenders and investors and just other colleagues that you can reach out to. So I would encourage, putting it out there in the atmosphere and saying, hey, this is, I'm in the market. This is what I'm looking for. And attracting, those deals and those opportunities to you, right? Because yes, you can definitely look online and look on the MLS. But again, I believe, some of the best deals are going to be done off market. So I've, done a few deals like that to where individuals contacted me maybe to come and list the property. And then when I got there and checked it out and did the walkthrough, I'm like, oh, actually, I'm interested in purchasing this, right? And so again, that's the, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. Or even if I wasn't completely ready, maybe I'm gonna bring in a partner, right? I'm bringing somebody to get this deal done because I can identify what is a deal. And as a realtor, like, you should have knowledge of that, right? When you know that you're walking into an area where they're asking $100,000 for this property, but they're selling for 300. Well, is there an opportunity here, right? Once you walk through and see how much work is needed. So yeah, I would say, the first thing is the same thing that you would tell your clients, as a realtor, in terms of, like I said, getting ready, getting started, getting going. The finances, the approval, and then and find a deal.
Do you think that they should invest in any type of training or courses for investing first?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt at all. The more education, the better. But I do tell people, like, don't have analysis paralysis either. Don't think that you're going to know all there is to know about investing in real estate before you invest. That's the reason why you have professionals that you hire and work with, your attorney, your inspector, your lender. If you don't have a lot of knowledge as a realtor, yeah, you can actually hire another realtor to be your realtor, right? You don't have to be your own realtor. And it's funny, actually, over the weekend, there was a realtor who mentioned that to me and let me know. She was like, when I'm ready, like, I'm going to come to you. A really good friend of mine right now is a great realtor. But I have a deal, I have an off market deal for her. And so it just, she came to me and said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And I had it, right? And it's a for sale by owner, but I'm representing her right now. I'm going to be her realtor. So if you're a new realtor, as you mentioned, then absolutely, it's okay to hire another realtor, hire somebody who is more experienced, and someone that you trust, to help you get through that deal. Because, again, it's you don't know what you don't know, but again, that's why you hire the professionals to help guide you through that. But yeah, no, it definitely does not hurt to, like you said, do trainings and courses and things like that. But is it absolutely necessary that you have to? No. I've navigated so many clients through the process who, just not woke up one day, but, they reached out and one day and were like, I want to buy. Like, I would like to be an owner one day and I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you help me and can you guide me through these steps? Right. So yes, I say that to say that, the more knowledge and the more education you have, the better. But again, hiring the professionals is really going to be, a big key to your success in regards to closing out, your transaction.
So what are some tools that I would need aside from me vetting the deal from the realtor standpoint? They're used to retail transactions, right? Where they're selling the property to the buyer. Where could they gain that knowledge if they can't afford a course or if they don't know a realtor who does investing? Like, what I mean? Like, that's where some of the analysis paralysis sometimes come in. And then sometimes the ego of not wanting to hire a professional because you feel like you can do it yourself. What would you tell that person that's in that situation, bouncing back and forth?
Well, I would say don't be naive, right? Like, if you don't want to hire a professional, I don't think it makes sense. You know, if you don't know much yourself and you having a very much so like I'm gonna do it myself attitude, you know, if that's the route that you want to take, then by all means go for it, right? But if you want to have it, you know, easier on yourself, then, you know, go this route, right? Or even ask around, ask questions. If you don't know, you know, an investor friendly realtor, go to your broker, you know, ask your broker, or like I said, ask other people that you know. Who do you know? You know, you got to open up your mouth, you know, and ask questions. The other thing too is that individuals that are doing, like you said, just traditional real estate sales, you can learn a lot from going to your home inspections. You know, being at those inspections, there's actually realtors, interestingly enough, there's actually realtors out here who sell real estate that don't go to their inspections. And you know, to each his own. But I do know that has aided in me in understanding what to look at, what to look for, learning, you know, and asking questions. So that has helped me. But yeah, I would say, you know, aside from that, again, there's so much information out there online. You know, there's information everywhere. But you know, I would definitely say hire a professional. I wouldn't see a benefit to them saying like, oh, I don't want to hire a professional. I don't want to get any training. I don't want to, you know, I want to do it all on my own. Like that just doesn't, I just don't think that makes sense. So, you know, somebody that's not looking for help when they're doing something for the first time that they've never done before, like I said, if it's ego or for whatever the case, yeah, they might have to go in and rethink their strategy.
Yeah, I guess the more I was more so getting to, they don't see the value of the investment in whether they hire another agent and they get paid for helping them in the transaction, or investing in, you know, the course. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to invest in yourself. Like you do. You do. There's no way. I don't know any successful person who has not first invested in themselves. Um, so, you know, if you want to bump your head, you know, and spend more money in the long run, making mistakes and figuring it out just to say I did this on my own, if that's what you want to do, then, you know, if that's what helps you get to your end goal, you know, you can do that, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Is there a cost to be a part of your Flipping in Heels community?
So the community online is free, right? You just
Okay.
follow the page, and then we put out tons of information, tons of resources, and then sometimes we do free events. So like I do a virtual women's summit. It's a 5-day summit that's absolutely free every March for Women's History Month. And then I just started doing a men's summit in April. And so like, you know, all the information will be there and will be posted there. And then, but for Infinity, which is the women's group, it is $49 a month currently for the women's membership program, because that is an intimate session. You know, we're having, you know, those one-on-one conversations. We're having very deal specific conversations, or, you know, just conversations that are very specific to, you know, whatever the members are going through, you know, whether it's on a realtor side, on the investor side, you know, we talk about business credit, marketing, you know, you name it.
Got you. So how often, and I might have missed it, I'm sorry, how often do you meet with the Infinity group?
Twice a month, every first
Twice.
and third Tuesday.
First and third Tuesday. And then the Instagram community.
Flipping in Heels. It's just a
Flipping in
Flipping in
Heels.
Heels page. Yep. So I'm on Instagram at Flipping in Heels and Rashauna Scott. And then my team page for my agents in regards to, you know, my real estate team is Rashauna Scott team. So I actually have 3 Instagram pages that I'm responsible for right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, my assistant manages, you know, them as well.
Got you. Well, since we're talking about it, and that's how I came across you, was through social media. How important is social media right now to a realtor's business?
Social media is so important right now to anybody's business. You know, if you it's 100% free marketing, right? So why would you not, you know, leverage that platform in terms of, you know, getting in front of people and getting leads and things like that? There's a lot of people though that are like, oh, I don't do social media, or they don't understand social media, right? It's not even really a matter of like cracking a code or a secret sauce. It's literally content and consistency, right? The more content you put out, the more value that you're providing. The more consistently you show up, the more you stay top of mind, right? That's really it, right? So, continue putting out the content. And I think, that's the thing. People are like, oh, what do I post? Well, think about what attracts you, right? What do you want to see? What do you, if you were looking for a realtor, what do you want to go to a realtor's page and see, right? It's actually pretty simple. It's not complicated. But it's very important, like I said, because there isn't an unlimited return on that investment, right? Versus you're paying $2,000-$3,000 a month. I know realtors right now paying thousands a month for like leads, right? To get leads from, Zillow.com or like whatever the case, right? And then now you have to measure the return, on that investment that you're getting, as you're paying per lead. I've never paid for leads. And, for some people, like that's their business and that's okay. That's their model and it works for them. But social media has definitely aided in my success because I consistently show up. And because I consistently show up and I consistently put out content, then I consistently attract clients.
How often do you put out content?
I wish I could say, so like, my personal page is also my business page. I'm not that consistent on there as I should be. My Flipping in Heels page is run by my assistant. We're putting out content. We're putting out posts twice a day there. But yeah, on my personal page, because I've never allowed anybody to run it, it's not as consistent, and then I go back and forth too, like with my personal page. It's kind of like what I have going on, what I have coming up, yeah. But regardless, I'm always showing up in the stories too, right? So there's value there and you can provide value there and you can connect with people there, right? Some people will look at your stories before they look at your page, right? So you're able to relate with people there. So I'm on my stories every day, multiple times a day, sharing something, posting something, even if it's not real estate, right? Like that's the thing about, my personal page / business page. Like some of it is personal, some of it is business, right? If I'm going out to a restaurant, you better believe, you're going to see food and things like that, right? So there's that relatability piece as well that comes across in my business because I am in a service-based business, right? And so because of that, people get to know me through the content and through the information that I share. And then they're like, oh, they feel like I know, like, and trust Rashauna. And so, because of that, I want to work with her. So yeah, so on my actual timeline, I don't have currently like a posting schedule or anything like that. I will say I've gone back and forth to where, sometimes I would have it perfect, posting every day or whatever the case or not. I would say if I did make the decision to get my personal page more on a schedule, I would say like twice a day would be what I would be posting on my actual timeline. So, post in the morning, another post in the evening. And, but like I said, on my stories, I'm showing up all day long, cause I may share a quote, I may share a reel, I'm sharing things that I connect with. And then I'm sharing my life too. I'm showing, not only am I at a restaurant, going out to eat, but I'm also showing up at an inspection, right? Or I'm doing a showing, or I'm doing a contractor walkthrough, right? So people see that. And then that's the other thing too about social media, the importance of like being in your stories and sharing your journey. People want to work with who they see working, right? That's the other thing too. So even if you don't have a ton of clients right now, like I say, hey, if you're at a training, if you're at a workshop, if you're investing in yourself and investing in your business, you need to be showing that. You need to show that, hey, maybe you don't have a ton of clients right now, but you're going to like these trainings and sessions and things like that. Show that, because people will see that, like, oh, and you want them to keep you top of mind when they're thinking about, a realtor.
Right. So for anyone who is looking to get in contact with you or to join one of your groups, whether it's the Flipping in Heels, I guess they could just subscribe to your page, or get in the Infinity Group? How's that process look?
Yeah, so my links are in my bio for if you want to book a call, so there's an investor consultation call on there. If you want to book a call, you absolutely can. If you want to sell your house, right, or buy a home, you can book that call there as well. If you want to join the women's group, that link is there too. So yeah, all the links are in my bio, basically, on connecting with me. And then I'm on Facebook as well. I know we talked a lot about Instagram, but I am on Facebook. I am on Twitter. I will be putting out more content on YouTube as well, because I've just been getting a lot of questions about, a number of things that we talked about here today, ranging from, real estate marketing through, real estate sales or investing and things like that. I will say that, marketing, a good 85% of my clients come through social media or have come through social media. So, when you ask like how important is it for business or how important is it for real estate, it's important for real estate. But even like I said, in business, like, for any business owner, absolutely, you should be on social media. Yes, you can pay for ads and you can boost ads and things like that, and you can spend marketing dollars, but ultimately, again, it's free marketing. You just have to show up consistently.
Gotcha. Well, Rashauna, this has been an awesome interview. I appreciate you hopping in on a short notice.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I look forward to seeing the growth of your business and having you back again later on down the road.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. This has been the Black Real Estate Voices podcast. Your host, Kevin Jefferson, Miss Rashauna Scott. Have a great day.